too. Let's get right to it, though, because they did announce one field this morning that's not listed on there. So I want to start with the women's sprints just in general. So women's 100, we'll start there. We know the field. We have Sha'Carri Richardson going up against the podium from Tokyo. And if you look at this race as a whole, you see as an opportunity for Sha'Carri to compete. I mean, she's the biggest star who is not in Tokyo, and now she has a chance to run a race against the best women in the world. She's obviously going to be highly motivated coming into this race, but I also think the rest of the women in this field are going to be motivated too. I don't think they want to take a loss. I think Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce had silver in Tokyo. I think she wants to come back and show that she's the fastest woman in the world. So, despite this being after the Tokyo Olympics, Gordon, this takes on more meaning than virtually any post-Olympics race could.
Yeah. Sorry, I was distracted by looking at the field and realizing we're going to have 2 10.6s and 3 10.7s all in the same race. It's pretty cool.
It's going to be great. It's going to be good.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I mean we've been talking about this race now even before we knew it would happen, right? The whole Sha'Carri Richardson situation. We were excited to see her race the Jamaicans, but then she gets banned. So then we're even more excited to see her race the Jamaicans because now you see what the Jamaicans do in the Olympic Games. They go 1, 2, 3, which is kind of the perfect result that you wanted for this storyline, for the Jamaicans to dominate the Olympics without Sha'Carri there. Because then that makes, when she does race them, even more what's going to happen, right? Obviously, Jamaicans are the heavy favorite, especially Elaine and Shelly-Ann. Their runs at the Olympic Games were not flukes. Elaine is 2/3 of her way through pulling off with Usain Bolt, right? Winning 3 straight doubles. She has a double now. She could get a triple-double in 2024. But all that goes out the window when we get to see them race each other on, is it Friday or Saturday when the race is? Saturday afternoon. Yeah. Saturday afternoon, seeing Sha'Carri go up against Elaine, Shelly-Ann, Toulouse for that matter, and Shericka. It's going to be great. And I've said that I think I've came already out with the take that I think Sha'Carri's going to win. That was my take. I also had another take that Sha'Carri would have won the Olympic Games. I angered some people with my thoughts.
But
the
public is against you. I'm looking at this poll. We're 30,000 votes. That's a big number of votes. No, 67. Yes, 33. You and I are split on this one. I just think we're in this.
10,000 people agreed with me. That's a lot of people. If I had 10,000 people on my side on any idea or thought,
that's not good.
It's almost a stadium. It's like a half of a soccer stadium. It's pretty good.
That's not good for anybody involved. Who knows, Gordon? We're in a unique situation. We've seen people who look like they're going to be podium contenders miss the Olympics because of injury or have a bad race at trials or underperform. But what happened to Richardson is unique because she has this. She qualifies at trials, looks great, looks like she's going to be able to contend for the gold, and then has a suspension long enough to where it kicks her out of the Olympics, but not long enough to where she's done for the season. So she's still able to race. Yeah, she's had time off and not ideal leading into a big matchup, but it's not as if she had to sit for a year and then come back. And that's why she's the biggest star, as I mentioned, who missed the Olympics, but she was also the most relevant in terms of medal potential that missed the Olympics. Because you could look at other people, for example, Donovan Brazier, reigning world champion, he missed it, but he was hurt. So if you put Brazier he wasn't ready to run. Sha'Carri Richardson was ready to run. It was just a suspension that kept her out. So now we're in this unique situation where not only do we have Prefontaine Classic after the Olympics and in August, but we have someone who was going to be a gold medal contender in the race going up against the entire podium. And I'm surprised that we're getting it. I'm crossing my fingers. We got a couple of days to go to get there. I hope it's going to come through because I think it's going to be worth the wait.
It's wild seeing World Athletics scratch from the record her 3 100-meter dash results on their World Athletics profile because she was smoking weed. It's just hilarious. It's like, come on, what are we doing here?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't.
it's
Is that
like
off of all? Is it
let's.
gone forever on everything? Because
I
she
guess
ran
so.
a
Let's
10.6 when dated.
we're gonna pretend it never happened because she was doing something completely. Yeah. Anyway, regardless, we've already circled the wagons on that topic. But yeah, I think it's definitely going to be the marquee race of the meet. I think it's going to be the most hyped event that we've ever had post Olympics because not only are track fans intrigued, but non-track fans are going to be intrigued. It's just Sha'Carri has found a way to take the sport to another level with her fame. I mean, look at this. Look at me, Instagram follower. We talk about Instagram follower growth. Bring this up. Something happened between June and July that made her celebrity go wild, right?
Yeah.
So this there's people who win gold medals. There's people who win gold medals multiple, many years in a row who
Mhm.
can't pull off this type of fame because unfortunately, a lot of times celebrity is not just purely about results driven, right? It's
Mhm.
sometimes it's outside factors. In this situation, she had double that. She had the outside factor of her personality that was very appealing, and then also the outside factor of the band. But look at this,
Mhm.
Alsa Felix. She's been the most decorated. That's what they say, most decorated athlete, greatest of all time. Blah blah blah. This, that, the other thing. Sha'Carri's been in the game for like 2 years,
Mhm.
and in one moment she like triples what Alison Felix is. It's wild. It shows that's how the world works, right? It's sometimes random, right? How uniqueness of one weed ban, one you know
Well,
personality
it was the
type
race. It was the
move.
race too. It wasn't just a suspension. It was the trials, the
There's no
performance.
results found. It's one word. That's why. If you maybe
Go,
on my
Travis
account.
is going
Oh
Travis is going
yeah.
crazy now with
Oh,
with all these graphs and charts here. He's trying to compare Gordon now to Allison Felix and Sha'Carri Richardson. So I told you I was going to tell you if there had been a race that I could think of at pre-classic that matched up to this, and I got to go back to 2006 when
okay.
you had Justin Gatlin versus Safa Powell. I don't know if you remember this, Gordon. The much anticipated race between those two men, the two best in the world. What do, Gordon? They both show up to Eugene and they run them in different heats of the 100. This is not a joke. This actually happened. I was at the meet that year and I was very confused, frustrated, and annoyed. You look up articles from that era. Here's one from the New York Times. Gatlin and Powell show how to sprint and duck. Here's one from the LA Times. Gatlin, Powell run well separately. Everybody was scratching their head about this. And we're kind of getting the opposite here, right? Where they're not ducking each other. They're going right into it and they don't need to. It would have been easy for any one of these women to call it a year and pack it up, but they're not. And credit to them for going out there and racing. We also saw this morning, she's not content with just 100.